Jeffrey is a consumer. He consumes media, low quality junk food, and he does a whole lot of online shopping. Adonis, he limits his internet use. Living like a caveman means he's not getting influenced by society's bullshit. Instead of spending time consuming media, Adonis does natural activities like meditating, journaling, and exercising. You can be immune to society's bullshit influence by heavily reducing your internet, especially your social media use. That's where you're going to see all of it. Imagine how little of this influence you're going to experience when you go out for a walk in your neighborhood. There's no big titty Instagram model who's going to try and convince you to buy her OnlyFans or the herbal tea that she's sponsoring outside of your front door. There's no guy flexing his photoshopped muscles trying to sell you his expensive program in your back garden. It's all on the internet. Reduce your internet use and you become unique. Society will influence you. You probably don't want to be like the people you see on Twitter, the blue-haired, angry, political and sexist and you probably don't want to be like anyone you see on social media. And yet, you're forgetting the very, very common quote, you are the average of the 5 people you spend time with. When you scroll on social media, you become more like those people you see on that platform, even if you're making fun of them. You get influenced by normal people's content and businesses. I've ran ads on Facebook. Here is my real dropshipping advert that gave me a decent amount of profit.
Just need the tits to look like that. That's all I ask in life.
This is actually super, super dope. This is definitely the best invisible bra I've ever tried.
Put it on your nipple, you pull your nipple up, stick this on your chest.
I'm sold. I'll give you the link so that you can at least go straight to the website for yourself.
Think about the effect this advert had on those women that watched it. They would have felt like their bodies weren't good enough unless they bought my product. Not only are they buying an overpriced shitty product because they saw my advert, but their self-esteem gets lowered just because they happen to scroll across it. You aren't good enough unless you buy it. I am ashamed to say that I made this advert, but it was profitable. And it was easy. It was so easy to target the exact population that I wanted. I could find every single variable about these middle-aged women who like to drink wine, who watch Love Island instantly. And so that negative effect this advert had on those women is the same type of effect that you feel when you scroll on social media. When you see an advert for a gaming PC that's better than yours, you feel a little less grateful for yours. Yours seems to just be a little bit more slower that day. When you see fitness products or mobile apps or attractive people, it makes your life feel worse. You get influenced by what you see on these platforms. So there's your self-esteem reduced. None of this shit happens in real life. You go for a walk, you don't see any of those angry blue-haired people. You don't see any of those like smart 18-year-old white guys who destroys the feminist, or you don't see any of these type of arguments of this hatred, of this negativity in real life. Why? Because those types of people don't go outside. When you go outside, the majority of the people you come across are happy, healthy people. But when you stay on the internet like a dumbass, you're seeing the extreme sides to life. I invite you now to do a visualization with me. Close your eyes. On the left side, think about the trajectory of your life when it's influenced by society and media and the internet. Think about what would happen to you as you go about the years. Then on the right side, think about the trajectory of your life if you lived like Adonis, with very little of that social influence. Which side of you seems more accomplished? Which trajectory would you like to go down? Which version of you would be more creative and have higher self-esteem? Think about the differences of that trajectory and then ask yourself, what the fuck are you gaining from this media that's so worthwhile? And the biggest negative influence of all, which is incredibly sad, is the education system. Imagine each child is unique when they enter the system, and through punishment and pigeonholing, they all come out relatively the same. And so now we're going to get deep. Welcome to the Unfiltered section. If you're new here, this is the section where we're a few minutes into the video. All the people with low attention spans have already clicked off because I wasn't like doing all the YouTube antics and all that shit. So we've only got like the boys. Roughly 15% of people stay for this part. So if you look at the views, 15% of the view count is how many people are currently watching. So you're part of the exclusive club. This topic got me thinking, I'm gonna homeschool my children. Imagine you have kids. Do you want them to go through that normal life? Now you might think, oh, you know, I want them to be normal. I want them to have friends in school. But is that even a good thing? How many people are coming out of school feeling fantastic, feeling happy, like, I'm so glad I've got these high quality friends that are going to stay with me forever. How many of those friends really do stay with you forever? How is it worth it to put your child through that system, that somewhat inhumane, like, cattle field system of just getting them ready to be low grade workers? And so I thought, you know what, I haven't looked into this fully, but I thought, when I have children, I'm going to homeschool them. It's going to be the school that teaches meditation and gratitude and mental health practices and how to get into a flow state and self-improvement, and actually teaches practical, realistic, requires knowledge, rather than just forcing you to memorize a bunch of knowledge for one specific exam date and then saying, okay, forget about everything that you've just learned, now start memorizing this stuff because we've got another exam day for you in 2 weeks' time. And if you don't do so well, we will tell your parents. And okay, if you're stressed, fair enough. We don't give a fuck. Kill yourself, kids. You dumb little school kids, kill yourself. The stress is too much. Who cares about you? It's a very extreme example, but that is pretty much what the school system feels like. And if you're a little bit older now, you've almost a little bit forgotten about how it was feeling in the height of your exam stress. When I'm coaching guys who are going through it, it's, you can see the stress physically on them. Like, stress is somewhat of an internal emotion, and, you know, it's the cortisol hormone, but it's like the student, I'll try and describe it to you because I've seen this now with a bunch of people. It's like they're slightly turning retarded. Like, I know that's a very offensive bait, but it's like they twitch at random stuff and they've got a closed body language when we talk about exam season and the stress. You can see how stressed out and how nervous they are about it. And for what? Yeah, you know, society plays a huge role on it, but what comes from it? What level of knowledge do you get when you leave the school? Barely any, if any. And we could say, okay, the downsides are something like homeschooling. I don't know how homeschooling really works. I don't know if you can just, like, teach your child what you want. I don't know how it works, but we could say the downside of it is that, okay, the child won't benefit from the school social system of having classmates, and your kid might at one point say, no, I want to be a normal kid and I want to go through and I want to experience that. But then to that, I'd say that with the right type of homeschooling, the kid would actually be so much more social and have more friends. It's just that generally, I think this is a mean stereotype, but generally the kids who get homeschooled seem to be like the children of, like, weird Jehovah's Witnesses, weirdly religious people, and so the kids turn out like socially autistic. But imagine if, as the parent, you were also teaching your child, like, great social skills at the same time, and obviously you put them in communities like sports clubs and the church group, for example. Your child would be literally the most popular one there because he's not getting bullied in fucking school and he's not wasting his time revising for exams, and he's read quality books. He'll actually know how to speak to people and make friends. At least that's my current thought. It was what I was thinking. I tried to find it, but there was this picture I wanted to show you. Maybe we'll have it up on screen. If not, okay, close your eyes and just try and imagine it. It was like a little cartoon picture of a couple of kids going through school. And when they first enter school at, like, one of the earliest levels, it shows what's inside of their mind. And it's all, like, scribbles. It's all unique. All of them were different. And as the years of school go by, the teacher's sort of words start straightening the lines, and all of the students then end with roughly the same brain. And that's exactly what happens. We're putting different people, unique, and maybe sounds a bit fruity and, like, spiritual or whatever, but, you know, everyone is unique, and everyone, it is like such a fact that people have, like, different skills and abilities and talents, and that's what we should be encouraging. But something like school seems to just force everyone down the same hole. So it's like you start off as a square, and to graduate, you've got to go through this cylinder hole. And so you're just getting, like, the sides of you just shredded off. Probably the biggest influence of society that we don't want in us as young guys who are trying to actually achieve something different from average life is school. And so it's stacked against you. Now, if you're a young person, it's much harder for you. If you're similar age to me, it's been a little while since you've been in school. You've started to realize now that, okay, you can choose different trajectories from what school and at the time what your parents were almost forcing you down. That's why I'm here today. That's why you're watching my videos today, because I defied the usual societal's influence of, okay, get the degree, get the good job, get the wife, get the kids, get the divorce, get the suicide. Because I avoided all that, I'm here today, and my job is being a YouTuber, which is fucking sick. It's literally like, this was the dream, the uncapped dream, the literally, if there was no limits on what I could do with my life, the dream was exactly what I'm doing. And I was able to do this because I completely defied what society put onto me. It's common sense, but to be better than average, you have to be different to everyone else. Think about right now the normal behaviors of the 99% of people, and the most common one would be consumption. Then think about the behaviors of the 1%. Maybe 1% seems a lot very like elitist. It's probably like 5%, but you get what I mean. Think about the behaviors of the 1%, and the most common behavior in that wouldn't be consumption, it would be creation, it would be production. That's the big difference. When you're trying to change this, you stop becoming a consumer and you start becoming a producer. Notice what I said earlier. I ran the Facebook ads. I wasn't the one buying from Facebook. I was the one running the ads, selling it to the 99% of people. That's the position that I think you probably want to be into. You don't want to be the employee. I think you want to be the employer. And so to be in this position, you cannot follow the advice of all the people in that group. How could people in this group tell you how to be here? To be here, to want to be here, you have to listen to people in this group of 1%. And so perhaps that's what you're doing when you listen to videos like mine. And at least for me, there's a few resources that have helped, but for me, it's been like a lot. I've taken little bits from everywhere, but a somewhat big change recently was from Alex Becker's videos. And I've only watched like 3 or 4 of his videos, but I just sit down, I watch them in the entirety of them. I don't flick around. And it's so interesting to see someone who does the exact opposite of what society does. And this is a very successful guy. The first big step of self-improvement is to be immune to society's bullshit. It's to not be active on the platforms where you're going to keep getting influenced by the social validation and the ego and the self-esteem, all that shit. You first got to get away from it. You've got to start becoming immune to it. But the second stage is just to start getting influenced by the people you actually want to be like. Most people will go and try to find the self-improvement tactics that, will make it all work for them. And it doesn't work. You've struggled with that so many times because you haven't done the first stage, which is to become immune to the influence first. When you're still active on these conventional platforms and you're still arguing with people on Twitter and you're still posting on Instagram all the time and you're scrolling on Instagram, you're scrolling on Reddit and you're watching YouTube videos like this, you're not immune to the influence. Now, hopefully the influence you're getting from me is hopefully pushing you to where you want to be. But how much of the influence that's going inside of your brain is actually doing that? Probably 1%. And so 99% of the influence in your brain right now is toxic. It's bad for you. And yet you're addicted and you won't stop just yet because you keep trying to focus on the external side. You keep trying to do the meditation. You keep trying to do the cold showers and the NoFap and trying to find the secret self-improvement tactic that's going to change it all for you. To become immune to society's bullshit, yeah, there's the specific tactics of like reducing social media and using fucking YouTube website blockers and Instagram blockers and deleting the apps and stuff. You can do that stuff if you're a pussy. Why not do the full length, which is to be introspective first? Because why are you doing those things? Have you ever actually asked yourself why? Most people ask how. Most people ask what. They ask, how do I become immune to society's influence? How do I reduce my Instagram time? Most people don't have the confidence and the humility, that's the perfect word for it, to ask why. Why am I on Instagram? Why am I on YouTube? Because you think you're a piece of shit. That's exactly why. You're on YouTube because you think you're a piece of shit. Your self-esteem is so low and so you're searching for the answer. You're on Instagram because you think you're a piece of shit. You think you're not as attractive as you could be and you need more validation. You need more likes. You need people to watch your stories because that gives you a sense of self-worth. That's why. But me saying it, you might think, oh, he seems to be accurate. It doesn't even matter. Straight after this video, nothing's going to change for you. Because you haven't been introspective, because you haven't induced the humility to ask why this is happening to you in the first place. Why do you crave seeing pictures of big titty Instagram models? Why do you watch? Not just how do you stop watching porn? How do you do good on NoFap? Stop asking how. How is such a basic question. How gets answered by itself once you understand why. Why? Grab a notepad and see how uncomfortable this feels and write down, why do I keep watching porn? And keep writing. When your fingers hurt, keep writing. Keep writing up until you're sweaty, keep writing for about an hour or two, and then you'll probably never watch porn in your life. That's what happened to me. Until you've asked why, until you've got the balls to ask yourself why you keep getting influenced by society, you're not going to find out. Because you're just flicking, you know, probably not now if you're watching this part of the unfiltered section and you've been listening to every word I say, maybe you're a little bit different. But most young guys, they're flicking through trying to find the answer. Flicking through to the next video, to the next video, to the next video, to the Reddit post, whatever. Click on a YouTube video, just flick, skipping minutes at a time, trying to find out the quick answer because they just need to know how. How do I stop fapping all the time? How do I stop taking drugs? How do I stop watching YouTube? The how is easy, just stop fucking doing it. Literally, that's all you need to hear is just stop doing the bad stuff. That's the how. Stop going onto YouTube. That is the how. The reason people get so into this question is because they want the answer of how to be the real true thing that changes their behavior. And so they want someone to say, oh, well, if you use this website blocker, it'll all change for you. If you use this app, if you delete the apps on your phone, this is all you got to do is the one quick trick. You're a pussy. That's what it is. You're looking for the one quick trick instead of just getting the piece of paper, and you still haven't done it. You're still listening to me, still almost hoping for me to, at the end of this, say, okay, here is the exact thing to do, and then it'll all change your life. Ask why. I had one more thing wrote down for this unfiltered section. I was going to talk a little bit about dopamine detox and say, you know, that's the way how you'd be truly immune to society's bullshit, because the dopamine literally comes from society. How much dopamine are you getting when you're just doing the natural habits like I do, and you're just spending your days journaling and reading and meditating and working out by yourself? It's not much. But the issue with now that I've realized with something like dopamine detox is that is one of those hows. Oh, your life shit, your self-improvement's not going well, society's influencing you. Well, the how is just dopamine detox. Well, again, you've probably tried to dopamine detox, or you've looked into it and you haven't really done it much. And either way, it's not working for you, because if you're watching this video, you're not on a dopamine detox. Lose your fucking ego. If you're watching this video, you're not on one, even though you probably consider yourself to be currently doing it. So again, ask yourself why. Why haven't I went on to it? Why am I a little bit scared and resentful of the dopamine detox? Now, I'll tell you, for me, self-worth. To think about going onto the dopamine detox, in my mind, two things would come up. One, I wouldn't be posting shirtless pictures on Instagram, and two, I wouldn't be on dating apps. This was about a year ago when I was thinking about these things, and I didn't go on the detox for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, to about 2 months, when I found out about it, and then didn't go onto it for about 2 months because of those two things. Because I was like, oh wait, but I won't be able to use dating apps, and then I won't be able to f bitches. Why? Why is that in your mind? Because I get my sense of self-worth from that. That's what you dive into. So ask yourself why. Why aren't you immune to society's bullshit? Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.